absolutely gorgeous fall afternoon in South Bend, Indiana. Today we are at Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center. The Hokies of Virginia Tech roll into town sporting a record of 9-9 on the season, 2-5 in ACC play. Notre Dame, the hosts, 8-9 on the year, 3-4 in conference play. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tyler Denning, Emily Eamon, and you look at these two teams right now headed in opposite directions. Notre Dame playing their best volleyball. They've won their last 3. Virginia Tech, they've lost their last 4.
Notre Dame is looking to continue on the momentum that they've built in ACC play. Virginia Tech looking to turn things around today and try to gain some momentum of their own.
And for Notre Dame, a reason why they are in the position they are, powered by their duel on the outside.
Pin hitters Avery Ross and Lucy Trump may just be freshmen, but they lead this team in attacks, which shows how much Notre Dame relies on their youth. Ross is a shorter 5'9" outside. She's forced to mix up her shots and really use the block to her advantage, but she's still able to get that full extension on every single swing, while Lucy Trump, she relies on her heavy arm to force her way through blocks. They'll use her in the front row, in the back row, and she's still able to mix up her shots as a good pin hitter as well. On Virginia Tech's side, a lot of changes in the lineup, but one consistent is outside Zira Powell. She's a very shoddy outside, throws in a lot of tips and rolls with hard swings, and she's able to get up and over a really tall block almost every single time. Now, her along with opposite Sydney Peterson and middle blocker Carl Lewis keep a balanced offense for this Virginia Tech team, and setter Phyona Schrader has to get all of them involved to keep that balance.
Big story for Virginia Tech. Their acting head coach today is Kevin Cardoza. Marcy Byers, who is in her 3rd season, is 8 months pregnant. The medical staff has determined for precautionary reasons that she will not travel on longer road trips with the team. So Coach Byers not here today, I'm sure, watching at home, and we send our best to Coach Byers. So this is a team that will play for their 2nd consecutive match under Coach Cardoza. We're all set, ready to go. This one very important in the ACC standings. Notre Dame 3-4, Virginia Tech 2-5, but Virginia Tech tied for 11th, Notre Dame tied for 8th, but just that one win separating one another. A little too much on that. Going long from Sydney Peterson. First point to Notre Dame.
Peterson loves to use the block to her advantage, so look for her to try to really go for those high hands and those high fingertips.
Block goes out of bounds. Okay, so Emily, tell me about missing your head coach, not having Marcy Byers here. How does that affect Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech wants to play even harder because their head coach isn't there. We saw it Friday night against Louisville, taking just Louisville's 2nd set loss in ACC play all season. This team wants to fight hard without their head coach.
3-1 to Louisville, one of the best teams in the ACC, best teams in the country, as Virginia Tech on the board with their first point of the match in the white tops. Notre Dame sporting their Irish green, blue bottoms. This best of 5 sets, first 4 to 25, win by 2. If we play a 5th, it'll go to 15. Challenge system is in place as Jordan Hallman, the server. Hokies were ready for the tip. Free ball coming. Well, had a swing at it, but out of bounds, wide.
You like seeing your DSs get up there, take a confident swing. They may be shorter, but hey, they got confidence themselves. They want to get up there and take a rip.
Hattie Monson, the starting libero, which we will talk about later. Give some love to the liberos over our way. It's a free ball coming now for the Hokies. Try the middle. That middle connection, every team talks about, so hard to develop.
And with Virginia Tech running a 6-2, they have different setters coming in almost every 3 rotations, so that connection is harder and harder to find with the setter system that they run.
That's a freshman Hanna Borer, number 0 out there now, ranges under this ball. Will try the middle, the block, sends that one back. Free ball coming for the Irish. come out to our side net. The cleanest swing we've seen thus far. Kaylyn Winkler, a graduate student from San Antonio, Texas, with the kill.
Schrader has been really working to get that tempo out to Winkler to try to get her more holes and open net on the block.
That's Phyona Schrader, the sophomore setter, number 19. Who just connected that ball, but allows it to fall to her side of the court.
Lewis works really well in front of the setter, so whichever setter's in for Virginia Tech, they're going to try to get Lewis going early.
Mentioned for Notre Dame, 3-match win streak, playing some of their best volleyball. It was coming off a 4-match slide, but their last victory Friday night here at home against Wake Forest came in 5 sets.
Great read by Virginia Tech on that block. Even though Schrader was about 8-9 feet off the net, Virginia Tech stayed disciplined and didn't go until they knew where the ball was.
Head coach Salima Rockwell, in her first season, told us of that win, their best win thus far, her tenure being here to come back. They were down 11-5 in the 5th set. She's been around a lot of volleyball, and Emily, she said, I've never seen anything like that. She'd gone into the huddle, said, guys, you can be part of something special, but her team rallied, and to come back from down 11-5 in the 5th.
She told us she knew this team was resilient. She learned that early on, but to come back from that big of a deficit just shows that this team is so resilient.
Salima, a former colleague of ours as well. Great to see her back on the sidelines. Really feel the energy for her taking over this Notre Dame job. Similar storylines for both of these programs and where they're at, really trying to lay the foundation and build up. Coach Byers, obviously not here, but Salima as well.
Yeah, and Salima Rockwell in her first season at Notre Dame, where Marcy Byers in her 3rd season, but still trying to build up programs, and that's getting tougher and tougher in the ACC.
Great job diving to the floor to keep that ball up. Dockery. More defensive effort. Offense converts off that defense. Transition ball for Notre Dame.
Impressive out-of-system plays for Notre Dame's defense, getting crazy ups down the sideline, just working so hard in the back line, and then Schrader still getting tempo, even though she's 10, 11 feet off the net to her pin hitters.
That was Thompson, who you see now, the sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida, that had the kill. It's her 2nd of the match. Over in 2, tried to pancake to keep it up, did Monson, but a heady play there on the side to find some space.
Because Virginia runs a 6-2, their setters are always back row, but they still like to get involved in the offense and set a ball over on 2.
Jenna Appel. Her team down by 2. Could not find that connection on the slide. Lauren Tarnoff, the middle, number 14, trying to work with Schrader, who you talked about, has tried to push the pace. Will continue to try to move the tempo for this offense. Maddie Slagle, the server for Virginia Tech.
Thompson is still going to be used out of the back row, and they'll move her along that 10-foot line, whether it's coming from the right back or the middle back. They like to have that other option going in these 2-hitter rows.
3-0 scoring run for the Hokies, knocks things up at 7. That is broken. Good clean swing. Avery Ross, we talked about her, top of the show.
Ross just stands at 5'9", but watch how high she can get up on these swings over the block and still find a way to get it through that hole.
That long out of bounds. Series history between these two, 14th meeting. Notre Dame leads the overall series 10-3. Fighting Irish have won the last 7 matchups. Been on the winning streak since 2016. Last Hokie win was back November 6th of 2015. That was 3 sets here at Purcell Pavilion.
Notre Dame's offense is different in that their setter plays all the way around in 5-1, and she's a lefty, so when she gets up there tight, Virginia Tech has to know that she's going to take a swing or dump.
So after a 3-0 run for Virginia Tech, Notre Dame answers with a 3-0 scoring run of their own. Make it now 4 after the attack air.
And Notre Dame has said that one of their strengths is serving, so if they get going on the back line, they're going to be tough to stop if you're on the receiving end. Really great serve from Thompson or Lauren Tarnoff rather, on the back line. She puts in such a hard float serve. Doesn't have a lot of spin on it, so that momentum can have it catch the pockets and drop down. Notre Dame up 5 here in set 1.
Kirst.
Doubleheader for you today. Sunday's best rolls on. The second game will be North Carolina hosting Syracuse in Chapel Hill right here on ACC Network. Kevin Fitzgerald, Missy Whittemore will be down there for that one. A lot of great ACC volleyball coming your way on this Sunday. This is a conference that is very tight. There are some very good teams atop the conference, but for Salima Rockwell, Notre Dame in her first year, you go across the start of ACC play, you lose your first 4 matches at Florida State, at Miami, then against Georgia Tech and Clemson, but then they really righted the ship. It was a victory in straight sets at Syracuse that began this win streak, 3-1 over Boston College, but this, the longest win streak they've had of the season this far.
And Coach Rockwell said that she's learned that they can play well and they can win on the road, which is so important in these big ACC matchups when there are so many good teams night to night.
It's a team that has 3 graduate transfers, 6 freshmen. Of course, Lehman, now the 7th head coach, hired on January 6th, 2022. I remember when I saw the news and I texted her and I was like, oh, where was the heads up?
You're leaving us?
Yeah, I saw you a couple days before. But big congratulations to her. She said, when we asked her why Notre Dame, she said, why not? Really felt that this was the best fit for herself, her family, her husband and 2 sons are now up here, settling in as her team is to this match. Though they're just unable to link up, but Salima, an extensive resume in the game of volleyball, had been at Penn State, where she coached, but was also a 3-time All-American setter at Penn State, some time at the University of Texas as well, won a national championship being on staff there with Jarrett Elliott. It's a triple block put up, but Thompson finds a way through.
Schrader is really getting Thompson going out of the back row. And Virginia Tech has recognized that, putting those 3 blockers up, but Thompson, with that heavy arm that she has, she's going to be able to blast through it.
Why is it so important for a team to have back row options attacking?
It adds another layer of offense. You don't only have the 2 or 3 people in the front row, but you have another option to keep that offense spread out.
Had a nice piece of offensive volleyball tooling the block. Sydney Peterson started her career at Nevada from Snohomish, Washington, the 6'1" graduate transfer, right side. Tough service there. Notre Dame wasn't really in system, but those are the ones you love to see as a coach, if you can manufacture a kill.
When you're out of system, you rely on your setter to try to make an athletic play, and this is that. She's on the move, but she's still able to put it in a good spot for her outside to do the work. And Ross, a shoddy player, she's going to try to go over that block.
Big swing, dig, back over, try it again. Taking a little off there to Sarah Powell, excuse me.
Powell has a lot of shots in her tool belt. So you saw the first one was a really hard attack to that back cross court corner. And the second one took a little bit of speed off and placed it perfectly in the donut.
Sarah Powell, 173 kills, 2.75 per set. Best on her team. Free ball coming their way. Do they go her way again? No. Try the right. So the offense starting to get in rhythm for the Hokies.
When the Hokies can spread things out, that's when they're best. When they can get their middle going, when they can get especially Sydney Peterson going on the opposite, it opens things up for hitters like Sarah Powell to have openings in the block.
For Virginia Tech, it has been a tough stretch of matches as their block sends it back. But the losses coming against Syracuse, NC State, UNC, and then at Louisville. But as you mentioned, going on the road and taking a set against the Cardinals, team that has not dropped very many Said second set in ACC play in this young conference season. Virginia Tech into the lead, but that short-lived, quickly tied up. Thompson on the swing.
Schrader is really finding Thompson in any situation that they want, whether it is the back row or the front row. They're really feeding her the ball because Thompson's a hot hand right now.
Thompson match leading 4 kills. She has 3 errors, 13 swings thus far. Winkler through the block. Foul goes over. Block sends it back. Was Thompson over there to stop the shot.
Notre Dame's defense coming up big, whether it's from the back row with Monson or the front row. They're doing such a great job in these out-of-system situations, getting set and going up strong.
Monson, the one that keyed in the play, the swing from Powell. Just trickling through does Winkler with her roll shot.
Doesn't always have to be a hard cross-court hit. Winkler can also throw in those nasty little cross-court roll shots. They're so tough to defend if you're an off-blocker.
The junior libero, Hattie Monson. Second in the ACC and digs per set. Ranged under that ball to set up the attack on the other side. Tipped back by the Notre Dame block. Joust at the net. It's won by Winkler.
Winkler was someone that Salima Rockwell said she had to keep in the game and actually wanted her on the opposite because of her physicality. She stands at 6'3", and she is a force up there, getting those hands all the way over the net and doing a great job of just being a big physical blocker.
Big swing from Powell. Another big swing on the other side from Thompson. Defense up to the task. Tried again for Paris. Probes the heart of the defense. That finally to the floor. One of the longest, cleanest rallies we've seen thus far in the match.
Defense starting to pick up on both sides. Both sides making great defensive plays, especially in that back corner in a lot of out-of-system situations, shifting their middle back over to try to get more touches.
As Coach Cardoza looks on. Notre Dame building their lead to 3.
The Irish trying to take some bigger rips now that this game has been going on. They've gotten a lot more comfortable in their offense and are starting to light it up.
Kaylee Dockery was the server for Notre Dame. This is an important sequence for Virginia Tech. The Irish with a little bit of distance. Powell goes for the tip, and it ends up finding the floor after the defense scrambles.
Virginia Tech's throwing in a lot of tips and roll shots to Notre Dame's way, so there has to be better communication between that right back defender and especially that left front off blocker coming in. Who's going to take that tip? Ideally, you want the off blocker taking it so that they can go set.
Sierra Powell from Pittsboro, North Carolina with the short serve. Great job diving to the floor. Dockery to keep the sequence going. Monson tried to keep it alive, but into the stands. So a great response for the Hokies. Cut their deficit to just 1 as we enter the red zone of this set number 1.
And a big swing from Ava Francis. She's on the run, but she still has that cross court so open with the blockers pulled so far to the right.
Alexander went for that ball, couldn't clear the area for her teammate. So now Virginia Tech has battled their way back into this set. Timeout for Notre Dame.
Virginia Tech's offense starting to find a little bit more rhythm of their own, using the backcourt with Sierra Powell back there, but also getting those middles going, which is so important for the Hokies to continue to find that balance and try to spread things out.
So timeout for Notre Dame. Next, All Access, the ACC Live here on ACC Network premieres tomorrow. It features Duke, women's soccer, Wake Forest field hockey, and Notre Dame men's cross country. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. All right, take me back to your student athlete experience when you compare that to the student athletes these days, outside of the obvious NIL and all the other transfer portal, those big keywords we talk about. What's the difference when you talk to and see the student athletes these days to when you were one?
Thinking back to when I played, it does seem like these athletes, especially volleyball athletes, are just understanding the game better. They're getting better coaching, especially just from assistants. We know there's great head coaches around the league and around the country, but assistants are coming in with a lot more years under their belts, really teaching these players. And the players that you see now, especially, I would say, setters in middles and outsides, their volleyball IQ is off the charts, even from when I played, 3-4 years ago.
Okay, take me through set number one and what we've seen. It looks like Notre Dame has been the one that's able to take a little bit of momentum, but there have been responses multiple times. Virginia Tech, they're on a 3-0 scoring run. What's going to be key for either one of these teams to close out?
For the last 5 or 6 points for both of these teams, it really is limiting those errors and finding those connections with their hitters. Both sides haven't established a great connection so far, but if you're limiting those errors, that connection can build.
Both teams with 11 kills. Virginia Tech 7 errors, Notre Dame 6. So Notre Dame 136, the attack advantage efficiency-wise prior to that swing. Pushes it to 154 after Lauren Tarnoff gets her first kill of the match on 5 swings. She's hitting negative 200, but timely kill for Tarnoff. Thompson with the serve. Where do the Hokies go? Try the middle. Lewis shot the right foot out to keep it alive and kick it up at point for Notre Dame.
Sometimes you got to use your head, a foot, a shoulder, doesn't matter. Whatever you need to do to keep the ball up, that's what you got to go with.
So coming out of their timeout, Notre Dame has responded. 2 points of their own, and Tech will call a timeout to talk about it. And an important first set. How important is it to take the first set when you're in a match that's pretty evenly matched between these two teams?
What you want to do is establish that first set early and establish your dominance early. And the best way to do that is by taking that first set. Showing the other team that you are not going to let up. Getting that first set under your belt makes it easier down the line. If this goes maybe 4 or 5 sets, you establish yourself early, probably got your offensive momentum going, but both sides, with this tight score we're seeing, both offenses aren't firing as they want to right now. Both setters are better than what they're showing. That connection has been off, especially between both the setters and middles on both sides. They're trying to get the middles going, but the connection is just a bit off.
The efficiency numbers showing that as well. 154 now for Notre Dame, .073 for Virginia Tech. Well, ACC PM with Mark Packer, Trey Boston, Taylor Tannenbaum. They're talking football. Also have the latest from around the rest of the conference. Weekdays, 4 Eastern, right here on the ACC Network. Big day, important portion of the season for these teams. We're past the feeling out phase of conference, the preseason over, so now it's going against opponents that know your tendencies, know your personnel, and in what is a very log-jammed ACC, these teams, so important to win matches. Can you win matches at home to protect your court? Can you go on the road and steal a couple against a team that looks very similar to yourself? 21-19 here in set number 1. Paris Thompson will handle the serving duties coming out of the Virginia Tech timeout. Hokies with no more timeouts. Notre Dame has one, and we talked about the service pressure earlier because when Thompson was back there, she delivered with an ace then. She delivers again here.
Thompson has such a hard serve because there's not a lot of spin on it. It's able to catch pockets really well, and she moves those passers around, dropping one in short and then can push them deep.
3 points away after the ace. Contact in the net on the Notre Dame side. So we'll side out and stop the 3-0 scoring rally. Schlegel to serve. That ball just trickles over the tape. Nice piece right in front of us, the lefty Schrader. Traditionally, she's the one setting the ball, but calls her own number.
When she takes the first ball, she makes sure that she's still an offensive option, getting all the way back in her approach and taking a full swing.
Short serve into the net. Second serving error of the match thus far for Notre Dame.
And in these last few points, you have to be low error. You don't want yourself to give the other 2 points. You need to earn your points and try to force the other side to make a play.
Hanna Borer will check in. Freshman setter will serve. Block, tool taken out of bounds. Set point incoming for Notre Dame.
Ross sees the block so well. She may be shorter, but she makes sure to get up there, see those hands, and if she can use them, she will.
Phyona Schrader will serve, the sophomore from Gennady, Iowa. Can she close out set number 1? No, but the block does. That was Winkler over on that right side. Sends the block back, and Notre Dame takes a tight first set.
And Notre Dame's defense is what stood out to me in them. Their offense still had a harder time getting it, but take the first set, 25-21.
So the home team protects their home floor. Close out 25-21 in set number 1. They have a junior libero and Hattie Monson that is second in the ACC in digs per set. Big part of their success, their good defense from Monson.
Hattie Monson is the glue to this entire team. She does such a great job defending, making the hard digs even look easy. Already 8 digs here in this match, but she's throwing herself all over the floor. No disregard for her body. She has free reign to completely roam the court. And Salima Rockwell says she is this floor captain. The team listens to her and she brings it every single day.
See the bro comparison, digs per set. Schlegel with 3.71, Monson 4.24, mentioned second best amongst all in the ACC. All right, break down set number 1. What was the difference and why it went Notre Dame's way?
It was the defense from Notre Dame. Not only were they getting good touches, but they were putting those touches in good places, where on Virginia Tech's side, they got some defensive touches, some great touches off the block, but it seemed like they weren't able to transition them because those touches weren't good touches, as we're saying. Now, Notre Dame, almost every single dig they had went up to the setter. They were able to run all 3 options, where Virginia Tech, on the other hand, those touches weren't good enough to run those 3 options.
You also look at the numbers hitting-wise. Notre Dame 190, Virginia Tech .068 in terms of hitting efficiency. But you look at the setters and who is setting the ball. Schrader, 11 assists on the Notre Dame side, but we've seen Borer, Powell, Schlegel, and Jenna Appel all register assists. So what do you see setting-wise for Virginia Tech that maybe they clean up?
Well, they run a 6-2, so you're always going to have those 2 setters in the back row, rotating through. I think at the end of the day, they have to find those connections early, and whether that means slowing the offense down, not trying to force tempo too much, and just getting a good ball to their hitters, that's what they need to focus on here in set 2.
Tyler Denning, Emily Eamon. Was an important ACC match for both of these teams. Notre Dame on a 3-match win streak, their longest of the season, coming off what Coach Salima Rockwell said was their best win for tenure, albeit very young, just 17 matches. This is the 18th, the 5-setter against Wake Forest. Virginia Tech, they've lost 4 in a row, so trying to right the ship as the Hokies get the first point. As I believe we see our first challenge of the match. So we will show you what Virginia Tech is challenging the touch. So point went to Notre Dame. Salima doesn't seem too concerned. Very relax.
So it's a question of, was there a touch off this block? Did it go actually out, or was there a touch from Virginia Tech, which Virginia Tech thinks that there wasn't, although it was called a touch. So if any fingers are bent backward, that's a good indication, or if the spin on the ball changes, also a good indication. From this angle, tough to tell if any of those fingers are bent backward. Could be the inside right hand of Jordan Hallman, 26 in white.
Yeah, the call on the floor was that there was a touch, point to Notre Dame, hence why we have the first challenge from the Virginia Tech staff and Coach Cardoza saying, no, my players did not touch the ball. I'm thinking maybe that right ring finger.
Ring finger or pinky, maybe. Looks like there might be a little movement there.
On Friday night. So we're getting the call in, and it will stay as called on the floor. So the challenge unsuccessful. One remains for Virginia Tech. Point Notre Dame and make it 2 points to begin set number 2.
Right out of a long break, that is exactly what you want. Get a great pass, get your middle going in transition, and Lauren Tarnoff finishing it off well to that zone 5 cut shot.
So Tarnoff registers her second kill on 6 swings as Monson will serve. Tight pass, but nice work, Sydney Peterson, after the ball was brought back to end the sequence with the kill.
And Hanna Borer with a very impressive set, back turn to the net, still able to get her pin going in transition.
There's a lot of green in the building, so hard to determine when the green challenge card comes out. I think I see it right there, yep. Coach Salima Rockwell holding it. We will have our second challenge after no challenges in set number 1.
Based on how close Hanna Borer was to the net when she set that ball, it could be a potential net call that they want because she is coming in pretty hot, back turn to the net, might have clipped it.
They are looking at, as we are hearing, was the ball in or out? Ball was called in, so obviously that's why the point to VT. I'm thinking out.
By that angle, it looks out. It looks like there's still a little bit of green space between the ball and the line. Again, you have to have conclusive evidence to overturn something, but that one looks pretty out. I like these calls. These are faster, you know?
Yeah.
Those in-out calls.
You know, go with what you see, and a successful challenge for Notre Dame. So after the unsuccessful challenge from Virginia Tech, with Rockwell batting 1,000, their challenge card. But you see that there, and we both know Salima very well. We talked with her earlier this week, but you can really feel her spirit with this group, with this team. She said she's really proud. She loves this group that they have, and you can feel it being around her and watching them.
Salima's really animated on the sideline. She's going to get up on big plays. When her team scores, she is almost on the court.
Yeah, I think it's different to see her having worked with her in your role as an analyst, and she's being objective. Obviously, she's not pulling for either one, but now she can clearly pull for her team to do well and show some of that spirit.
Even at that point, it looked like she was about to dive on the court. I mean, she gets so animated, and it's so much fun to watch her have so much fun. You know, she, of course, had fun as a broadcaster, but watching her as a head coach, she's having a blast out there.
Her team ripped off 4 points, albeit with a couple of challenges to begin this second set. Before that, the third serving error she's seen them commit. Always a fine line between aggression and giving them away that coaches want to see. Was Monson with the service error. So first serves coming. Annabelle Zier, the server for Virginia Tech.
Paris Thompson loves to go for those high hands, so she's going for those touches off the fingertips, that one going a bit wide.
Zier well long. That serve. Side out percentage right now, Notre Dame 54.2. VT is 41.4. Dockery with the ace, third serving ace for Notre Dame.
That side-out percentage you mentioned is directly impacted by how well they're passing. And Notre Dame putting in some bullets on Virginia Tech like this one. Almost no spin, really targeting Virginia Tech's outsides.
To the floor, nice job setting. Borer goes down to bring that ball up and give her hitter a chance. Peterson delivers. Postuma in, the junior from Prospect, Kentucky. Number 5 will serve. Her team trailing by 3 points, down 1 set to none. Powell wide and out of bounds.
Powell also trying to go for those high hands, catch a fingertip or two. That one just going a bit wide, hitting on her way down.
Mentioned the dominance for Notre Dame in this series. 10 wins, 3 losses overall, but they've won the last 7. That sequence ends right side. But one thing I noticed just throughout there, and we're seeing not a lot of offense in the middle. I know you had mentioned it for either team thus far.
To get your middles involved in the offense, you have to have good passes or good digs, getting your setter in a good spot where they can set the middle, and typically that's within about 5 or 6 feet of the net.
A long set all the way across the floor. Hokies blocked there, ready to deal with it.
Kara Lewis was brought into this team for a reason because she is a great blocker up front. She does a great job getting all the way out, and if she doesn't, still dropping that right hand and closing up a seam.
Blocking numbers in favor of Virginia Tech, albeit by just one, 4-3. Out of the middle, Kara Lewis.
Postma did a great job getting her middle going in transition in a quick bang-bang play. She gets a quick dig, gets her middle going right away, and Lewis is able to deliver in the middle of the court.
You mentioned Lewis began her career at Maryland, was a terrapin, and over on two, Schrader decides to take a rip at it and effectively finds the floor.
Schrader, as a lefty, can go up and take those big rips because it's coming at a different angle, so she's able to hit those really great cross-court shots over her shoulder.
Eight-6 advantage for Notre Dame. Down the line, another ace.
The service pressure from Notre Dame has been stellar today, really targeting those outside passers, trying to force them to play the ball and make a decision.
Free ball for Virginia Tech. Try the right, was tight for Melanowski. Part of the blocking duo over there with Lewis to send that ball back.
Malinowski got up there and got big. Didn't do too much on the block, but read it well, went up at a good time, and dove those hands in, getting inside of that hitter's hand.
Coach Byers had talked about those transfers, said she was looking for graduates that had wanted to move on, but specific positions when they go into the portal. They filled those roles, but with their newcomers saying they got lucky, got some kids to buy in, but really wanted some young talent they were able to develop, and it's going to be interesting continuing to watch that evolve for coaches. How hard do you dip into the portal to go for needs, or would you rather use that spot and keep a young player that you can develop in your system?
Yeah, it goes between development or just bringing in really good talent. And Virginia Tech did both. I mean, 9 freshmen, 6 transfers coming in. Byers said it was important to get those transfers that were already developed to have the depth. But then you have freshmen coming in where they have the chance to develop. And then 4 or 5 years down the line, you have really good players.
As mentioned, Coach Byers not here. 7.5 months is what I have in my notes, so not 8. She said she was due in December. Will be second girl for Coach Byers, has a daughter that's 3.5, but she's not with the team for precautionary reasons. Medical staff said no more for longer road trips. So much so that when we talked to her, it was on a Zoom, and she was being driven to practice. She said, I can't do the team bus anymore. She had a private chauffeur, I believe, one of the assistants.
I don't know if anyone really wants to be on the bus that long, so she really got the good treatment there.
Watching her team try to push back. It was around this spot in set number 1 that the Hokies found their rhythm, and they went up into their first lead on the 15 break. Notre Dame has had responses when they needed, but more of that was Zier. Good for the VTech cause.
Great answer from the Hokies. Getting a good ball in transition. They have a free ball. They use a lot of tempo, get their middle going, and that's paying dividends when Virginia Tech can spread things out, get their middles involved.
How about the VTech block? We've seen some good blocking defensively at the net.
Virginia Tech's block has made great adjustments. They put Annabelle Zier in, who's a really great blocker, 7th in the ACC in blocks per set, and that is why she's able to get all the way out and close really well.
Doubling the blocking numbers of Notre Dame, 6-3 thus far. All tied up, 11 apiece. Great dive by Borer. Keep that alive and reciprocated by Monson on the other side. Which team can go defense to offense? A little bit of defense there. The block sends the ball back into the face of Slagle.
Notre Dame defense getting things going. Hattie Monson, check this out. A diving sprawl, and then eventually closing things up. Winkler and McDowell, big stuff.
Just short after the set. Coming in was Peterson trying to connect. But Notre Dame, last 2 points after that big defensive play. Monson served. Powell trying to go long, but no dive on that ball. 13th attacking error for Virginia Tech. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Sarah Powell, she's going to go up there. She has a really high kill percentage, but then she also has a really high error percentage, and she has to find that balance when she's Virginia Tech's go-to as she misses that pass.
Fifth serving ace for Notre Dame will take us to the mid-set timeout. Notre Dame took set number 1. They're up 4 here in set number 2. Come on back. Well, our doubleheader continues. We're going to send you on down to Chapel Hill after the conclusion of this one. North Carolina hosting Syracuse. Kevin Fitzgerald, Missy Whittemore will be there. An ACC women's volleyball doubleheader. Streaming live on the ESPN app as well. As beautiful fall day here in South Bend, Indiana. It was gorgeous yesterday. Not so gorgeous result in the football game for Notre Dame, but a beautiful night to take in the ball game against Stanford. Or just across the way, Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center. Two teams, very similar storylines, similar records. VTech 9-9 on the season. Notre Dame seeking to get to 500.
Hattie Monson almost there on the dig. She made a great play to her left, trying to get it up. Just needs to scoop a little higher.
Ava Francis that scored the kill. And pretty even back and forth. It was Notre Dame that found the gas pedal in the red zone. Kaylyn Winkler been a very bright spot for them, tied for the match high. 6 kills.
And this all happens because of a very good pass by Hattie Monson, keeping them in system at such a high clip. Schrader is able to run her offense with a lot of tempo, getting Winkler holes in the block left and right.
Lucky we don't have a booth cam. I would have had you break down the replay of your reaction to the offense. We were talking about it. You're seeing it on both sides. You see it in the numbers right now. Both teams struggling to run cleaner offense. What do you attribute that to?
For Virginia Tech, they're making a lot of sets they don't have to make. It doesn't have to be a quick tempo set to the middle as Notre Dame sends that out. It doesn't have to be a quick tempo set to the middle when you're 10 feet off the net. Just force your pins to try to make a play, because Virginia Tech's pins are doing the best for them right now. Their middles, when they are involved, it's been a little bit off. I want to have them find a cleaner connection and really getting those middles going when they have a good situation.
See, that was all boiled down in the one reaction that you had to this set. 17-13. Big stuff block. Malinowski came off the bench in this one, and she has definitely made an effect, especially defensively, working that right side.
Malinowski has been a great addition, putting her on the opposite pin. Having a bigger blocker up there is big for a Notre Dame team that relies on their pins.
Kara Lewis over there as well. Malinowski, 6'3". Great dive right in front of the Notre Dame bench to keep the play alive. It was Dockery. Malinowski will try to range this ball and does. Finds the back corner, the line for the kill.
Malinowski provides a lot of length and height, so she's able to get over some of those blockers and still find the back corner.
Malinowski in that sequence, I think one of, I believe that's theirs. There you go. It was one of their trackers had fallen out of the jerseys. A lot of players wearing their biometric trackers in the back. It had fallen on the court. She hit it off. It just went our way, and we were able to give it back. But across that sequence, she was pivotal. 3-0 scoring run for Virginia Tech. Now back in this second set.
Virginia Tech finding their way back in it, and they're not doing too much. They haven't forced those sets, especially in the last 3 or 4 points, getting their pins going in good situations and better touches defensively.
All Access, the ACC Life, premiering tomorrow. The next in this series, Duke women's soccer, Wake Forest, field hockey, Notre Dame men's cross country, unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans. 7 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Wake Forest field hockey was actually in action last week when I was down there. It was gorgeous field, gorgeous day, but you'll get unprecedented look at that All Access, the ACC Live. This one, we have pretty good access, great courtside viewing vantage point for us in what has been back and forth that really could go either way. Right now, though, Virginia Tech trying to make this even at a set apiece after their 3-0 scoring run. Seen some defense blocking numbers in favor of Virginia Tech, so in spite of hitting sub 100 efficiency-wise, they have 7 blocks. Been able to stay in this match and have a shot here to make it 1-all. Remember, we have a doubleheader coming your way. Send you to Chapel Hill after this one. So out of the Notre Dame timeout.
Virginia Tech into the net on that one, going up a little too hard on the block, finding the tape at the top. If you touch any part of the tape, point other team.
So the violation stops the rally. Thompson will serve. She's had some pivotal aces. Good serving from Thompson thus far. Free ball coming for Virginia Tech. Try the middle. Malinowski off the tips.
Malinowski has provided a big heavy arm on the right side that Virginia Tech is using really, really well, pushing her all the way out, giving her so many angles to hit, whether that's cross court, going off the top of the block, or banging one line. She's finding all angles and has been so rangy here today.
Malinowski coming into this match had played just 11 sets on the season, 8 kills, but already 3 on 6 swings, so maybe finding something with number 16 in white. As the Virginia Tech staff operating without their head coach on the bench. Kevin Cardoza, the acting head coach. You see the freshman. Attack air from Thompson, the short serve for the Hokies. Where does Notre Dame go here? Quick in the offense. Tarnoff, talk about that middle offense. Really one of the first times we've seen a middle on the slide convert.
First ball side out has been so important for Notre Dame, and getting that good pass right away, Hattie Monson stepping in well, and then getting Tarnoff going on a quick back set. Very, very smart decision by Phyona Schrader.
That was something Coach Rockwell talked to us about as well for this Notre Dame team, where they've struggled is longer rallies, being more terminal early in that first ball, getting the ball to the floor. What can they do here? Block sends it back. So, quick side-out response for Virginia Tech.
Malinowski and Lewis have been a wall up front, working so well together. Watch their timing, going up at the exact same time, getting those hands pressed over, allowing that block to happen.
So we are entering the red zone. That catches the tape, trickles down, and goes out of bounds. And we'll tie things up at 19 apiece.
Virginia Tech starting to chip away at that lead, ties it up. From here on out, both teams have to limit those errors.
Short serve from Slagle. Wanting to just go at it with the ball tight to the net. Schrader Point goes to Notre Dame. Virginia Tech, I think, felt as if that was theirs. No protest, no challenge. Coach Cardoza getting the clarification he sought. It's Notre Dame 5 away. Barely grazing the net to stay in. Big swing, big dig, Schlegel there. Back corner. Elena Dupre, the sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia.
Dupre is often put in late in sets when maybe they want to run a 5-1 or they just want some different offensive option or a bigger block. And whenever she steps in, she makes plays like this. Very smart plays, not always a hard-hitting shot, but she does so well with her shot placement.
65 kills on the season coming into this one, but that just her first kill. Is that over the outstretched hand of Winkler.
Winkler wanted a faster tempo on that one. Schrader getting a little bit higher than she would have wanted. Tempo just off.
You talked about clean efficiency. Who's going to be able to find it to try to close out the set? Notre Dame struggling with it over the last sequence of point.
Notre Dame struggling with that setter. Hitter connection and hitting a lot of balls out of bounds. It doesn't always have to be a hard-fought hit. It can throw in a tip or a roll, which works so well for them in set one.
We've now seen our first lead change all set as the Hokies on a 3-0 scoring run, leading to Notre Dame's second timeout. One of the biggest differences when you look across the numbers, everything pretty even outside of blocks. Virginia Tech 8 thus far.
The Hokies are doing such a great job working together. Their middles, whether it's Cara Lewis or Annabelle Zier, are going up with their pins. Great communication between all of their pin hitters and the middles, getting those hands over really, really fast. And Marcy Byers said this is one of their strengths. They love the way that they're blocking, and this week works even harder on really getting those blockers to get their hands in a better spot, and we're seeing that play out today.
Yeah, this has been a Virginia Tech team that's really been moving pieces around. Coach Byers said, wish we had the luxury of 2 passing lefts, but playing out of that 6-2, as you mentioned, the sub count can get low. Sometimes late in sets, they'll bounce back into the 5-1, but that can really bring a different element to your team. They thought those 2 lefts they would have would be vital, but he said, hey, no one's going to be sorry for us, feel sorry for us. We just have to figure it out. And the Hokies have found something here on their 3-0 scoring run, 3 points away from making it 1 set all. What does Notre Dame have coming out of the timeout? We just showed you the VTech block. It delivers with another.
Peterson this time getting up there, going up strong, knowing where her hitter is, watching the line of approach and getting those hands over at a good spot.
Borer will serve. Notre Dame trying to find some sort of connection, but Trump wide on the swing. Handful of set points incoming for the visitors.
Notre Dame still trying to do too much on their offense. Just getting a ball in play is going to be big. Force Virginia Tech to try to make the play. You don't have to do it yourself.
From the middle, haven't said that too often, Zier closes out set number 2. So VTech, they the team that play more efficient down the stretch. Block comes up big, and we will head to the third, all knotted up, 1 set each. So the Hokies close it out on a 6-0 scoring run. Second set goes their way, 25-20, 1 set all here in South Bend. Come on back for the third. ACC PM with Mark Packer, Trey Boston, and Taylor Tannenbaum. Talking football, also News from around the rest of the conference, weekdays 4 Eastern, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. We are in South Bend, Indiana, Purcell Pavilion, where set number 2 just went the way of the visiting Virginia Tech Hokies, 25-20, making the plays down the stretch. Thanks for staying with us. Tyler Denning, Emily Eman, and Emily, we're not quite halfway through the conference season yet, but the beauty of being broadcasters, we get to talk big picture, and you've put together some of the accolades. We have a team thus far, 5 names from the ACC that you see as standouts so far this year.
Well, in the ACC, we have such incredible players at almost every single position, but these are my picks for freshman defensive setter, transfer, and player of the year. So at freshman, Emma Farrell is doing incredible stuff for Wake Forest, leads the ACC in digs per set, as Wake also leads the ACC in digs per set. So doing a lot of great things on the defensive end for Wake Forest. Elena Scott, Louisville libero, she is one of the best in the entire country. Even though Louisville is second in the country in blocks per set, she's still putting up numbers like this, averaging over 4 digs per set. And then Raquel Letharo, first in the ACC in hitting percentage. Louisville is at .318, and that just speaks volumes to how well she's doing, getting her hitters in great situations and doing a great job setting up her hitters. Now, Courtney Bizzario, the transfer from Iowa, now the Pitt opposite, is doing a great job leading Pitt in kills, 10th in the ACC in hitting percentage. She does a great job of being efficient and being a big blocker. And this one was probably my easiest one. Julia Bergman, the outside at Georgia Tech, one of the best players in the entire country. Just one of 5 players averaging over 5 kills a set, doing incredible things. Such a big force for the ACC.
So that's big picture for the players. Let's talk big picture for teams. And yes, that word tournament. We go back to last year, the ACC, their conference profile has really shot up over the last couple of years. We've seen some great top dogs, Louisville, Pitt, Georgia Tech, what they did, Louisville and Pitt last year, the national semis, Georgia Tech into the regional final, Florida State, Miami, and North Carolina, those the other tournament teams from the ACC last year. Talk RPI, these are top 60. So right now, Emily, who do you see as in, maybe with a little bit of work to do, and teams that are on the far outside but could potentially get there?
I would say from Miami up are probably feeling pretty good about themselves. At Wake Forest, UNC, and NC State, what they can do over the next few weeks is going to be really, really important, especially against those middle-of-the-pack ACC teams is so important. But I would say from Miami up is pretty much a lock for the NCAA tournament. I mean, every season now we're seeing Louisville, Pitt, Georgia Tech, and then kind of everyone else. But that everyone else this year in the ACC is so tight. It feels like it's almost anybody's race.
Yeah, really the important things that we've heard about, you look at that RPI and trying to be 50 and up, looking at the conference record as well. Know that the tournament committee likes at least 500 or better, and for these two teams, Virginia Tech 2-5 in ACC play, Notre Dame 3-4, so we're the Fighting Irish to win to get to even in ACC play, and even 9-9 on the season, which is where Virginia Tech is. But we have an even match, 1 set each. What are you seeing?
Virginia Tech really picked up their defense and got some offensive momentum going, but defensively they held Notre Dame to negative 0.26 during set 2. So Virginia Tech has to keep up that defense. Notre Dame has to limit their errors on offense, and Phyona Schrader has to get her hitters in better positions.
So 25-21, set number 1 for Notre Dame, 25-20, set number 2 for Virginia Tech. Who can win the next 2 out of 3 to take the match? Team switching sides.
Thompson with a great answer on the outside to start it off. Really good down the line shot. We haven't seen her do that too much today, but look for her to keep mixing up her shots.
Thompson, match leading 8 kills, 33 swings, hitting .030. So when you talk about that efficiency, Notre Dame now sub 100, .098 prior to that sequence, and Virginia Tech up to 101. Neither of these teams jumping off the page with their efficiency numbers after the kill from Winkler. Haven't seen any long rallies either. Momentum has just been gradual, both sides. 3, maybe 4 points, the most that we've seen, but neither really able to put it in gear run away.
Yeah, I think it's also a testament to the passing on both sides. Has been shaky at times. Notre Dame putting in really tough serves. Virginia Tech trying to handle them well and match that serving pace.
our way, keeping it alive into the scorer's table. Could feel that one. Schrader, some contact there, trying to keep it in play.
Schrader laying it all out for her team, gets a high ball, throws an arm at it. That's what you want to see out of your setter. You want to see that fight and grit.
So long sequence. Virginia Tech continues their blocking. Excellence at the net. That their 10th block.
Virginia Tech's middles and outsides are working so well together. They go up at the exact same time. The middles are dropping that hand in that seam. That's resulting in the blocks.
Into the middle, some offense for Notre Dame. Haven't seen a ton of that thus far. Going to the bench as well, Charity McDowell, the junior 6-foot middle blocker, talking with coach, but coming in and contributing.
Notre Dame has to keep getting those middles involved in the offense, which is from the past, but they have to find a way, keep them in, spread things out.
Block once again. That has been the brightest spot for Virginia Tech. Scoring a lot of points with their defense.
Virginia Tech's block out of system has been great because they know where the ball is going. They see Schrader forcing that set to the outside and are able to set up quickly.
4-3 Hokies with a small lead before that to even it up at 4-piece.
Winkler's done a great job mixing up her shots. It isn't always a hard hit shot. She's throwing in good tips, good roll shots, just forcing the ball on Virginia Tech's side, trying to get them out of system.
Winkler, 8 kills, 2 airs, 16 swings, 375. The hit percentage. She easily having the most efficient match out of any player. Quick into the middle, Kara Lewis delivers for the Hokies.
Big run by the Hokies, getting a good pass, getting Kara Lewis going in the middle, and when she is in system, she is so good, able to bang a ball to that zone 5.
Lewis leading her team with 5 kills. She has 13 swings. Tight on the pass. You've talked about the importance of passing. That was Dockery targeted in the serve receive and just too tight for Schrader to do anything with it.
And Virginia Tech picking up the speed of their serves from the end line.
See if they go there again. They do. Dockery unable to link to Schrader. So Virginia Tech talked about neither team able to go on an extended run, swing momentum, but they feel like they're doing a little bit of that now. Still targeting that back left, but that long and out of bounds, but a good service sequence for Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech hasn't had a lot of long service runs, so that's exactly what you want. Have a few good ones put in. If you miss it, you're okay with that.
Back row, big swing, big kill. Paris Thompson.
Thompson coming in hot out of the back row, off the pass from Hattie Monson. A great job of getting her back row hitter involved in the offense. Harder to block because that back row attacker has so much range.
Thompson after that attack to even triple zeros, so finally out of the negative, 9 kills, 9 airs on her 38 swings, but at her team's 6th serving error. Side out percentage just favoring Virginia Tech, 50% to 47.2. Monson diving to the floor to keep that one in play, and her team able to pick her up.
Hattie Monson getting things going offensively for Notre Dame. A great job getting their middle involved off of a good pass, which is exactly when they need to get those middles involved.
Nancy Kane coming in to serve. Senior DS from Chicago, Illinois. Getting a taste of the Irish spirit right behind us. The mascot coming to try to involve this crowd. Some contact there. Dockery and Thompson. Thompson was trying to go into her takeoff to attack towards the ball, but just miscommunication on the Irish side.
Coach Rockwell says this week they've been working really, really hard on those backcourt relationships. So whether that's left back and middle back or right back and middle back, working together as a unit better.
Hanna Borer. Malinkowski, I mentioned, not a ton of experience for this team. Coming off the bench, this is probably her best match of the year. Delivers the big swing.
And they've sped that setup to the opposite side, trying to get her a lot more holes to hit through, because Malinkowski can bring the heat.
And just 8 kills for Malinkowski coming into this match. And already has 5. An important ingredient for Virginia Tech. Gotten back and taking control of this match, leading by 2, but a side out for Notre Dame. Set up Phyona Schrader. Serve, it just seems like a lot of contact on the Notre Dame side, a lot of communication struggles. That'll help though when you don't even have to play after the serve. Another ace.
And a communication struggle on Virginia Tech side, both Schlegel and bad miscommunication. You have to talk so early in those passes.
Monson to the floor, Schrader under, but unable to time it with Winkler. And that leaves a hole in the defense. Annabelle Zier able to find.
Getting your middle going in transition is the best time to do it, because it's typically a faster play and the defense might not be set up. This was a great job getting Zier involved on a gap set, making those blockers move inside to try to stop her.
Here's something we haven't seen a ton of, the block from Notre Dame.
Charity McDowell getting down, loading up, and then exploding to get that block and closing things up at Kaylyn Winkler. Watch how far she gets her hands over the net, loads all the way up to get him over.
So both teams utilizing their bench and getting some important contributions. McDowell for Notre Dame. It's that ball long out of bounds, clipped the foot of the ref. He is not in. 11-all here in set number 3. This best of 5 knotted up at 1 set each. Thompson.
Thompson has been great today when she's out of system. She's taking really smart shots, getting her arm fully extended, seeing the court, and knowing exactly where to hit.
10 kills, 7 digs for Paris Thompson. Sophomore outside from Fort Myers, Florida. Challenge incoming, Virginia Tech. Second challenge of the match, unsuccessful in their first, so this could be an important one as we head down the stretch. Challenge we are hearing is if Notre Dame was in the net. Do you see anything that would lead to believe?
Didn't see a ton of net movement, but if we get that replay, sometimes you can tell if there's any net movement, no matter where it touches a player on, that will be a good indication. So if this net is moving from any of these Notre Dame blockers or coming down on an attack, that time just moving from the ball touching the net.
Yeah, no contact there from the player. So as the sequence continues, just look for anyone in green contacting the net. No, I think that the net was still just moving from when the ball was on top of the tape.
Net was still moving from that ball, hitting the top of it, getting it a little shaky. went throughout the play.
So were this to go the way that we think it will, it would be the second unsuccessful challenge for acting head coach Cardoza. And that will burn the challenges for Virginia Tech. If we were to go to a fifth, Virginia Tech would get one back, but Notre Dame, by virtue of them being correct on their challenge, have two. Virginia Tech with none. So can that be a turning point?
Dupre answering a really big point coming out of a challenge. You want some explosive play to try to get your team some momentum. Dupre with a big swing down the line is going to do that.
High arcing serve. But the connection there, finding Winkler for the conversion.
Schrader with an impressive set, getting on her knees, chucking it back, and Winkler saw the court so well, knew the open shot, and hit it right there.
Monson will serve. Lauren Tarnoff checking in, number 14 in green for Notre Dame. It's in that front row with Winkler and Thompson. No one getting a look as that ball down for Virginia Tech. So teams trading points here in set number 3. Winkler sent back. Ava Francis, 6'1" over there, the redshirt freshman.
Winkler has had such an incredible day, mixing up her shots really well, using the block well, knowing when she can take a big rip, knowing when she can use the block, and knowing when to throw in a roll shot.
Francis, number 24 in white, one of those transfers, began her career at Arizona from Plain City, Ohio. Nice dig off the swing from Thompson, at least initially. Put some heat on that ball from Paris.
Thompson with a heavy arm swing. Notre Dame now up 2 here in set 3.
Karsten.
Well, welcome back. Notre Dame up 2 here in this third set, and it's been a story of offenses. You see that first set, Virginia Tech not hitting very well, and then flip that in the second set, Notre Dame hitting negative 0.26. But this is the cleanest set that we've seen this fall. Both sides managing their errors well, and both setters doing a good job getting their hitters going in good situations, not forcing anything too hard.
Yeah, you had talked about that, the keys coming into the red zone of both sets 1 and 2. Who would find the efficiency? We have definitely cleaned it up here in the third set. Notre Dame with a 2-point advantage. Virginia Tech, no challenges left. Were we to not go to a 5th set for their coaching staff and acting head coach Kevin Cardoza. Getting still a little clarification from down judge. Numbers very even. Both teams 102 swings. Notre Dame with a 5-kill advantage, 36-31, but they have 5 more errors. Both teams hitting at a 157 clip overall in the match. The clarification right now is substitutions. We'd mentioned that for Virginia Tech, that sometimes balancing that number, that is something for teams that run out of the 6-2. Really have to stay on top of it. How many you have, who's been in, what you have left. Is that all clear? We are ready to go. Push through the block. Ava Francis.
Great answer by Virginia Tech, nailing that pass right away, getting a good in-system quick set to the tempo outside, and Francis did a great job seeing the block and putting it down.
Francis in with her 5th kill on 13 swings, 231. Peterson will sit down for Virginia Tech. Pripostema with the serve. Slagle with the dig. Off the block of Thompson, and out of bounds for the Hokies point.
Easy little roll shot there for Postma. I'm not sure she expected to score, but maybe just to get Notre Dame out of system, just keep the ball on the other side. Sometimes you get lucky.
So consecutive points ties things up. The down stretch on this side really taking a beating today. It's like the 4th ball that's hit him.
At least we know it's a clear call. He's like, if I'm getting hit, it's out.
He's smiling too. Maybe he knows we're talking about him.
Tried to just shake it off, throw a shoulder at it.
Yeah, it's all been low, you know, down around the ankles, the knees. So after the serving error, 3rd service error on the match for VT, Notre Dame rattles off consecutive points.
And it's Thompson again on the service line, has put in such great serves today, keeping them flat and really driving them at Virginia Tech's passers.
As much as Virginia Tech has had the advantage at the net in terms of blocking, the Irish have had the advantage at the service line in terms of aces, 7-0.
Ross, the rangy high flyer, going up, using that block to her advantage because she's shorter. She sees the block so well, knows where to hit it, and knows when to take some speed off.
3-0 scoring a run for Notre Dame will lead to a Virginia Tech timeout after the kill from the 5'9" Avery Ross. You talked with Salima about that, giving a shout out to the attackers that maybe aren't as tall in stature.
The outsides that are shorter, so maybe even 5'10" or below, are so fun to watch because they mix up their shots. They're so good about using the block. They can usually jump really, really high. Those high-flying hitters, throwing in roll shots, throwing in tips. It's just fun to watch when you have attackers that can change it up so well.
She's shoddy, as you like to say. That's shoddy with T's, not shoddy with D's. Shoddy would be bad. Shoddy with T's, good. One player that has been very good as well and is a little taller, 6'3", Kaylyn Winkler, the middle blocker from San Antonio, Texas.
Middle blocker, but they're using her on this opposite side because they like the height that she provides on the block. A really good physical opposite. She can run slides when they need it in servicey, but she's good on either pin, can take really big, strong, hard shots. You won't see her mix in a ton of roll shots, but when she does, they're very intentional.
Winkler on the day, 10 kills, 400, the hit percentage, 3 blocks.
Along with her good volleyball play, I mean, Salima Rockwell said she's just such a good leader for this team. She leads by example. She called her a noble person, and that's exactly what you want when you have a grad transfer coming in and making a difference on a really young team.
Winkler began her career at SMU, where she played a little bit of opposite. Went back and forth with where to put her, did the Notre Dame coaching staff, but said she's so good in the middle. Provides a great block on that right side, but her team leaning on her 10 kills with Thompson's 11 that has them at a 3-point advantage here in set number 3, trying to go up 2-1 in this best of 5. Sequence ends with a kill from Kara Lewis. Goes up top on the defender.
Defense picking up on both sides, getting a lot more touches, getting their teams in transition more, a lot more middle involvement during these plays. And that's a testament to that defense, getting those setters in system to run their middles.
It's harder to say kill from Kara than
kill from Kara, kill from Kara.
Keep going.
Say that 5 times fast.
7 on the day. Into the middle, part of the block. Sends that ball back.
Kara Lewis does such a great job tracking her hitters, knowing that she can't take a step until she knows where the ball is going, and that time sealing it up with Dupre.
Notre Dame using their block, pushing for the corner and finding it. Wow. Schrader saw it back there and finds the line.
Schrader can see the other side of the court so well. She knows these defenders are all sucked up, so she can take her high volleyball IQ, send a ball all the way back to the back corner. Watch how far this ball sends.
Nancy Kane into serve, and a little bit of luck for the Irish. Just clips the tape and dives over and finds the floor for the ace.
You rarely mean to clip the tape, but when you do, it's almost always an ace because there is usually nobody standing there.
8th service ace for Notre Dame. Came well over this time. Off the block, Toole.
Virginia Tech's block is doing such a great job, not only getting big stuffs, but great touches. Kara Lewis, that rally, had a great touch. Maddie Slagle was able to get a good ball in system, and then they can run tempo to the outsides, and Dupre does a great job going off that block.
Dupre, 4 kills, 13 swings. You just look at the stat sheet for Virginia Tech, they've really dipped into the bench. Played probably their full complement of everybody that they have brought. Minus maybe 1 or 2. Notre Dame, 21-18. Schrader serving. Nope. Tried Powell in the back middle on the slide. All right, back to Schrader. Winkler to get a look here. Just long, no tip contact at the tape.
Winkler still trying to go for those high hands, but Virginia Tech did a great job setting up their block in a way that the only shot that Winkler could hit was out of bounds.
Sydney Peterson checking back in for Virginia Tech. Ross is sent back, and that clears a lot of space. After the ball hanging just above, Virginia Tech able to capitalize, will lead to a Notre Dame timeout.
Dupre with a great heads-up play. Seeing this ball was just straight up. She anticipates that, goes up, and hits it to the spot of the court where there is no Irish defenders.
So the attack from Zier leads to a timeout as we have a doubleheader coming your way. Stay tuned because after us it will be another important one. Syracuse, North Carolina down in Chapel Hill. Kevin Fitzgerald, Missy Whittemore will be on hand to bring you that one today at the Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center, South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame trying to get to 9-9 on the season. Hokies trying to get to 10-9. Both teams sub 500 in ACC play, where the Irish to win, they would move to 4-4, their record. Well, we broke down NCAA tournament teams in the intermission, who you like and who you see as in already. Syracuse has interjected themselves into the conference conversation. Wake Forest as well. That's a team that Notre Dame went 5 sets with on Friday night, as both of these teams over in the right column. But you ratchet off 3-4 wins and you could be sitting there in 4th place.
As Marcy Byer said, if you're competitive, you want to be in a league like this. There are such good competition night in and night out. It's not only those 3 top teams that are normally ranked, but it's everybody else that's really vying for those next spots.
Notre Dame timeout, Borer with the serve. And Notre Dame has switched things up. You see Avery Ross moving over to this right side. We haven't seen her a ton, and Winkler working on the left side, at least within that sequence as Ross sits down.
Ross with some finesse on the back pin. Not typically where she hits from, as she's normally a left side attacker, but she's still able to use her high volleyball IQ to score.
So that timeout proving to be big for Notre Dame. 2 points coming out of it will lead to a VTech timeout.
has been where this match has been decided. Post 20 in the red zone. Which team has made the plays down the stretch? That an ace from Maisie Alexander, the 9th service ace for Notre Dame.
And that ball is so hard to pass because it's coming over to hitters that are stacked up in that row. So you have a lot of communication that has to happen on Virginia Tech side. You see all the chaos happening on the right side of your court. Who's going to take this ball? There's 4 players that potentially could have a hand on that. They have to come out of this timeout, talk about it early, because Alexander is going to go right back to that spot.
Nine to 0, the aces for the home team. Going through what the plan of attack will be coming out of the timeout for Notre Dame.
And their plan is going to be, we got to keep the service pressure on the Hokies. It doesn't always have to be an ace, but you have to try to get them out of system, try to keep the ball on those outsides, force them to be out of the offense, try to make a bigger play. And Notre Dame has done a great job keeping the Hokies out of offense.
His associate head coach, Craig Dyer, that was leading that huddle. Sarah Matthews, an associate head coach as well. The volunteer assistant for Notre Dame is Lauren Plum, who played at Oregon. She was the setter for Oregon when Coach Salima Rockwell was at Texas and they beat Oregon in the national title match. 23-20, back-to-back, serving aces Alexander. Set point for Notre Dame.
Alexander going right back at the Hokies outsides. Expect her to do it again here for set point.
Targets Powell with the serve. Dupre wide. Notre Dame taking the third, 25-20.
It was Notre Dame serving here in this third set that made the difference. They picked up their offense, but this serve putting in absolute bullets on Virginia Tech's outside, keeping them out of system, and eventually earning that set 3 win. Notre Dame up 2-1.
It was absolutely gorgeous flying into South Bend yesterday. The trees, very autumn, as you see shots of campus here at the University of Notre Dame, and their volleyball program seeking to build on their match win streak of 3, their longest of the season, coming off what head coach Salima Rockwell said, best win for this team on the season. 5 sets against Wake Forest on Friday night, so trying to build on that momentum, get back to 500 in both ACC play. They would be 4-4 were they to win this one, and move to 9-9 on the season. And winning that third set, 25-20, go a long way to help the cause.
Yeah, Notre Dame did a great job switching up their offense, getting those middles involved a lot more. And then from the service line, they were lights out, throwing bullets in at the Hokies' way, really targeting their outside hitters, trying to get them out of system, get those outsides out of the offense. So I would expect Notre Dame to keep targeting the Hokies outside. And those outsides have to do a better job of managing the ball. It doesn't have to be a perfect pass. 10, even maybe 15 feet, they can still run their offense, but just getting the ball up and being able to run something out of it is important.
Both teams playing their cleanest volleyball in that third set. 316, excuse me. I can read 6s and 9s. The difference for Virginia Tech compared to .068 in set 1, 147 in set number 2. For Notre Dame, they hit 297 after a negative .026 in set number 2, 190 in set number 1. So Notre Dame 1 set away. Hokies needing this one to set us to 5.
And Peterson was a bit quieter during that third set, but here in set 4, they get her going right away to try to open things up for their outside hitters.
Thompson deciding to go after that ball that had some pace to it. Free ball coming for the Hokies. Or the setter that's on the court for this team that operates out of the 6-2.
When Virginia Tech gets a free ball, this is how fast they run their offense. Watch how low this ball is, so they're able to get bang, bang play, get the ball to your middle very quickly.
Annabelle Zier, the one that terminated. Winkler into the heart of the defense.
Winkler can see the defense so well, and she sees that those defenders are so spread out, which opens up the middle of the court. Throw in an easy roll shot, force Virginia Tech to make a play.
Winkler tied for the match lead with 11 kills. Thompson 11 as well. Winkler's done it at a 3:33 clip. So add another one to it. She said, hey, I just did what I do with it, and that ended up a good result again.
First one worked, why not try it again? But it's about the defense for Notre Dame. See this middle attack, Hattie Monson getting in there, throwing her arms out. Again, doesn't have to be a hard ball. Winkler's finding the space on the court with off speeds.
Yeah, there's a shrug emoji after that one. And her team building on her consecutive kills. Service aces now 11-0 in favor of Notre Dame. Quick on the slide, though, is Zier, who's had a couple of nice kills here early on in the fourth.
Big answer by Virginia Tech, getting aced, going back, nailing the pass, getting that middle involved, letting Annabelle Zier do her thing.
3 apiece.
No one there to answer for Virginia Tech. When you have a middle back row, everyone else, all of those defenders have to work harder because you don't want your middle taking that first ball, especially on a hard-fought dig. So that middle back has to step in and try to make a play.
Kaylee Dockery will serve for Notre Dame. Good defense to offense. The pass set it up.
Big swing by Sydney Peterson, really getting up there. It looks like she's jumping even higher as this match has gone on. Watch this hang time. She gets up there going over the top of Lauren Tarnoff, standing at 6'2".
Tipped down, that ball was lingering around the top of the net for quite some time, but Tarnoff is the one that was able to end the rally.
Smart shot by Lauren Tarnoff up there. She almost thought about going up to hit it, but she was too tight to the net, so last second made a decision, just go up with 2 and put it in a good spot.
Long on the serve. It's the 7th air.
As those aces rack up, you tend to see a little bit more high air from the side that's getting those aces, just because you're putting in really tough balls, you're gonna see some go long.
Mara Perry, the server for Virginia Tech. First time calling her name.
Back set quick with the offense, Tarnoff converts.
Big run by Lauren Tarnoff. That back one is working so well for Notre Dame because it's confusing the blockers from Virginia Tech. They don't know which hitter to go up with, and when they're moving things around, check out that confusion. Confusion that they think Schrader's gonna go up and take a hit, but she sends it just back quickly. Easy kill for Tarnoff.
6th on the match for Virginia from Huntington Beach, California. It's about a day high school, very well known for their athletics. See some hype over on the Notre Dame bench. Big reason too, as they continue to succeed at the service line. That one's close.
Really testing the sideline for Virginia Tech.
No challenges left for the Hokies. Unsuccessful on both. They would get one back if they were to win this set. Free ball coming for Notre Dame. Schrader will try. Ross, who angles for the back corner, but is out of bounds.
And Virginia Tech's defense keeping them in that. We saw Dupre lay out for a ball, just keeping the pressure on Notre Dame, force them to make a play, eventually resulting in the error.
Service instructions in. Schlegel right to middle of the back row. Ross showing the bunnies, the 5'9" player getting up.
She's getting up there, taking big rips, even going over the block, and that's what makes her so great. She might be 5'9", but she can jump out of this gym and still gets that full extension to hit at the top of her swing.
Back set on the slide. Good save.
Annabelle Zier going up, seeing that block, that it's not as far pressed over and straight up, so she can tool that left hand of the outside.
I have two volleyball players to my right and left here, so any balls that come our way here courtside, I feel, very safe hands, quick offense. See Notre Dame incorporate a little bit more of that. They're getting a little more tempo, and it's effective.
They're getting more tempo because their passing is picking up. They're getting really good balls in system so they can run a quicker offense, especially on this backslide that Virginia Tech has not been blocking well, so they need to make that adjustment. That outside blocker has to mirror that slide better.
It's a kill for Charity McDowell, her second. See Notre Dame go to their bench, and McDowell contributing, currently in the middle of the front row. Got a big swing. Harris Thompson continuing to go back and forth with Winkler for the team high and the match high. That is 13th kill.
Thompson bringing more and more heat as this game has gone on. Check out how fast her arm swings down, just bringing so much strength and power to every swing.
Notre Dame with a 3-point advantage. This has been where the Irish have struggled, keeping the momentum up, and it's been where Virginia Tech has been really good. Gotten in a small hole and able to side out.
Virginia Tech now rolling in some cross patterns. So they had Sydney Peterson come in on a quick 2-ball, and then their middle Annabelle Zier going on the slide, trying to confuse Notre Dame's blockers a bit more.
Mosley serving. Tight to the antenna. That's where the whistle was blown. There was player up there. McDowell will sit down for Notre Dame.
Watch the bottom of your screen. You see on her way down, shoulder hits the net.
That was great vision. We had a great view of it, but Borer to search through all that traffic and push that ball out to the left antenna.
That's one of the reasons why Borer is so great. She might just be a freshman, but she can make some crazy athletic plays, pushing the ball all the way out, even from the other side of the court.
Tell me your thoughts on 6'2". Do you like it? Do you not like it? Indifferent? Right, if you have the right personnel?
It depends on your personnel. You have to have 6 rotation outsides if you really want it to work, because you don't have the subs to sub them out. And it has advantages, disadvantages. You have 3 blockers up there at all time, which typically your right side is going to be bigger than your setter. But at the same time, setter-hitter connections are much harder to find.
Yeah, I think you could really put a list of, maybe we'll have to do that, pros and cons as to why you would run a 6'2". But talked a lot about it across the course of this season in our game. A lot of teams going to that 6'2".
And you'll notice later in sets, Virginia Tech likes to keep Borer in the game, running a 5-1, and will bring Dupre in typically to hit on that opposite and have Borer go all the way around.
Yeah, I just think it's so hard when you talk about that chemistry aspect. You have to know, especially if you're a hitter, what type of ball's coming in. Traditionally, rotations coming in, platoons, certain hitters with certain setters if you're going to play that 6'2". But whatever works for your team and your personnel.
We're seeing so many more teams this season, especially running 6'2s, with a lot of setters that had graduated, now really just trying to figure things out.
Dockery on to serve for Notre Dame. The team's block sends that ball back. Try it again, this time over the block from Francis. Into the heart of the defense. Thompson finds the floor.
High IQ play by Thompson. This was a push set all the way. Watch how far Schrader's pushing this ball. Thompson has so much time to go up, so she sees the other side of the court and knows that that's her best option.
Short serve from Notre Dame. Right back over after the Lewis swing, had a give and go, but nice piece of defense. That dig ends up helping finish the sequence off for Notre Dame now with a 3-point advantage.
And despite the big up by Slagle, Notre Dame comes out successful at that one.
So Notre Dame with some distance. They're up 15-11 here in the fourth. They get this one, they close it out. Come on back.
One of the big differences in the service game, no aces for Virginia Tech, 3 errors, so they're differential -3. Notre Dame, 12 aces. They do have the 7 errors, but that's still +5 points that they've manufactured from the service line.
And along with the service aces, Notre Dame is getting Virginia Tech out of system at such a high clip, forcing them to try to make a set that they don't want to make.
So the break at 15 stops the rally for Notre Dame. That differential will drop down to now 4 after that their 8th error, but have clearly held the advantage at that portion of the game. 199 the efficiency for Virginia Tech, 190 for Notre Dame. Hokies need this to send it to a 5th. Notre Dame could continue their dominance, having won the last 7 against Virginia Tech. Kara Lewis having a nice match, though.
Back to back in this point, just putting up such a wall, knowing where that ball is going to go. They're out of system. Put something good up, get your hands over, and let them do the work.
That off the block. It was Ava Francis on the left side.
Francis has done a great job using that block to her advantage. If she sees that they're too far high up, she is nailing those fingertips. Block just going out of bounds for Virginia Tech, and a really good swing on a slide from Lauren Tarnoff. She is targeting those hands as well, seeing that they're not as pressed over, swiping that ball out of bounds.
Great scramble, hustle to keep it alive. Can Notre Dame capitalize with the defense out of sorts? Yes, they do. Phyona Schrader. If you're looking for match number 2 of our doubleheader, will begin on the ESPN app. We will get you out to Chapel Hill as soon as this one ends. Notre Dame with a 2-1 advantage. But we'll send you down to Kevin Fitzgerald and Missy Whittemore here on ACC Network once we're done. But if you want to watch the beginning of that match, head on over to the ESPN app.
Or hang out with us. We got a good game going.
Please do stay. Watch the end, and then we'll send you over to Chapel Hill. Continue this Sunday best doubleheader here on the ACC Network. And what is a very log-jammed ACC volleyball standings. You have clearly 2 top dogs atop, both coming off of great seasons last year, Louisville and Pitt. Georgia Tech right there, but had mentioned you go on a little 2-3 match win streak as Notre Dame is on 3-match win streak after a 4-match slide to begin conference play, and you could put yourself in the top 5 of the standings, and that really puts you in a advantageous position as tournament time will be right around the corner soon enough.
It's coming up, man. I feel like we just started season, and I feel like I blinked.
It's October
all
15th.
All of a sudden, it's Halloween.
Yeah. Talking about basketball season starting and November right around the corner, just a couple of weeks. These teams will roll into halfway of conference play over the next 2 weeks, and that helps Avery Ross.
Ross, the high flyer, getting up there. Watch this hang time. She may be short, but she can get up, sees the block so well to go right through that hole.
Notre Dame up 19-16. The Hokies have had an answer every time right around this little juncture to play themselves back into the set. They needed this time to stay alive. Winkler. That ball just unable to figure out what to do with it. Didn't know if it would be a joust atop the net. But the ball falls down to the floor, and Virginia Tech will take their first timeout of this set number 4 now. Notre Dame 5 points away. Big difference in this one. The service aces 12 for the Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame has done a great job really driving their serves on the Hokies outsides, targeting them, trying to keep it off Slagle because she is such a good passer, finding the seams, throwing in some short serves, trying to make their off blocker, off hitter, try to make a play, but they are testing the sideline while really testing the Hokies blocker. The miscommunications from Virginia Tech side has also been a big factor in this. They really need to do a better job talking early, figuring out who's going to take those seams early on.
Net differential +4 for Notre Dame at the service line. But when you couple that with Virginia Tech, who's a net -3, that's 7 points in a match that has gone 25-21 Notre Dame, then 25-20 Virginia Tech, 25-20 Notre Dame, and now the Fighting Irish 5 points away from notching their 4th conference win, make it 4 matches in a row that they will be victorious, and 9-9 on the season. Virginia Tech currently sitting at 9-9. Just a reminder, if you're looking for Syracuse, North Carolina, currently started on the ESPN app. We'll get you out to Chapel Hill as soon as we are done here in South Bend, Indiana, part of our ACC network. Sunday volleyball doubleheader. Virginia Tech timeout breaks the serving rhythm.
Freezing the server.
Hanna Borer. Ross with the big swing. Maybe some contact over there. Borer diving to the floor. It was her teammate Mara Perry. Both seemed to be okay, but good. Big swing from Ross.
And in row 1, when Ross is swinging on that opposite pin, she's done a great job mixing up her shots and still able to take those big swings.
Alexander to serve for Notre Dame. Now 4 points away. Short serve, ace. 13th of the match for her team.
That ball dropped so quick. It snuck over the tape and then dropped at the last second in such a big space on Virginia Tech's side.
Fighting Irish looking to make it 8 consecutive over Virginia Tech. It was way back in 2015, November 6th. The last Hokie win against Notre Dame. But Avery Ross, bright spot. Talked about top of the show, these 2 freshmen outsides, Ross and Trump. Ross, how you see her day?
Ross may just be 5'9", but she gets so high up and she makes sure that she hits every swing at her full extension. So getting that arm all the way up, because she is shorter, she has to find some kind of height. And along with that, she mixes up her shots really well, getting that full extension, becoming a really rangy attacker. And head coach Lima Rockwell also said she is tough as nails. She doesn't show a lot of emotion, never gets rattled, just a very calm and steady presence for Notre Dame.
Said she wills a lot of things to happen. One of their fiercest competitors, does not get rattled. Notre Dame, were they to get 3 more points, could set their sights forward in the schedule. It would be a 4-match win streak. Last 2 coming at home prior to this, but here you go. Go on the road at number 8, Pitt, then at Virginia, at number 2 Louisville. So Virginia sandwiched in between your 2 top dogs in the conference, and then back home to face off against Duke in North Carolina. But for a team trying to find their way, and you're going to go into a long road trip against your conference's 2 best teams, would feel good for Salima to head into that on a 4-match win streak.
And a great answer from Virginia Tech right out of the timeout, trying to get something going from the offensive front. Great example. You nail a pass, quick tempo to the outside, and let her do her thing.
Logan Mosley on to serve, her team trailing by 4, needing this 4th. Free ball coming, Notre Dame. Where do they go? As they've done many times today, 57 in fact, Paris Thompson, that her 16th kill.
Really smart decision by Phyona Schrader, seeing that Sydney Peterson had just laid out for a ball, so you send the ball her way to try to force her to get in quickly and block it.
Into the middle. Immediate side out for Zier after her kill.
Another big answer by Virginia Tech. First ball side out, nailed the pass, and they do so well when they can get the middles going. Let's see how Zier does from the end line.
Zier serving. Good pass, sets up Winkler, who is tipped back. On the other side, Thompson, defense is there. One of the longer rallies we've seen all match. It ends with a Sydney Peterson kill.
Peterson stayed in that play so well, going up to block, coming down, getting a full transition move off, and still able to load up and get a full arm swing.
So Zier remains serving. Back row, Ava Francis finds the floor. Team now down just 2. Notre Dame does have 2 timeouts, was looking over to see if they would use them. They do, still just 2 points away, but the rally for Virginia Tech right when they needed it.
Virginia Tech has so much fight. We've seen it all season long. This is the part, even though they know they're down, they're gonna fight so hard. We talked about it in the beginning, but with head coach Marcy Byers out of the game, they're going to fight harder. They want to win this game for her because she's not there. They're going to work so hard right now to try to tie it up and get the Tides to flip.
One player that's been doing such, junior Kara Lewis. She has 9 kills and part of that big blocking effort, 9 herself as well.
From the offensive side and the defensive side, Kara Lewis has done a great job getting involved. Whenever she's on, going up to block, she comes down so quickly, gets a full transition move to get that big arm swing that she has. And on the blocking front, she has done a great job closing to all of her hitters, making sure that she's involved in the block, dropping that hand in, getting it over quickly and trying to seal it up. But Kara Lewis having an incredible day.
Team overall 14 blocks. She's been a part of 9 of them, but needing a couple more. Either kills, blocks, points. Try to stave off elimination and send us to a 5th set. Zier will remain at the service line. Where do you think they go, serving-wise?
They're going to go at Thompson. They're going to try to get her out of this offense, force her to not be able to get set, try to make a hard play.
Thompson in the back right. She looked towards the net for Notre Dame. Ball goes to Thompson after the clean pass. The block trickles down. Notre Dame does get the point, and unable Virginia Tech to challenge. Out of challenges, cannot look at that ball. Winkler was right on top of it, pointed to the ground and said, hey, we got that block. Match point incoming. Not quite yet. Ava Francis.
Francis with a big answer for a Virginia Tech team that needs to go out swinging. Tips and roll shots is not going to get you back in this game. Virginia Tech has to keep bringing the fire.
Off the block for match point. That'll wrap it up. Tarnoff. The Irish make it a 4-match win streak. 8 in a row over Virginia Tech and push their record to 9-9 on the season. Your thoughts on the match?
Well, Notre Dame now knows that they can win at home. They have a 5-set win over Wake on Friday, now taking down Virginia Tech. This is big for their momentum going forward.
Paris Thompson led the way with 16 kills. Winkler with 12 as well. Francis the bright spot for Virginia Tech with 10 as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish victorious. For Emily Eamon, rest of our crew, Tyler Denning, so long from South Bend, Indiana. We'll send you out to Chapel Hill.